Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I want to talk to you about Destruction's overhaul that hit Warcraft and Alpha servers yesterday. A lot to dissect here. I'd say almost a bigger overhaul than what Demonology got, but not... I think it's a solid overhaul. Not as good as Demos. I think Demos was very, very good, but this is a great starting place for Destro, and if they change a couple things here and there, iterate upon a few nodes, it's going to be in a really good spot, and overall, I'd say it's still probably pretty solid. So, look at that today, talk about the talent changes, this and that, their philosophy, a little bit of combat here, because honestly, Destro flows really well in combat now, and then, well, yeah, go from there. There'll be a feedback update later on this weekend, okay, so next weekend, whatever, talking about Destro, but today's mainly focusing on the changes and all of that. So yeah, let's get it going. Alright, so jumping into the changes here, there's actually one demo change I forgot to mention as part of this video. The size of Gloomhound and Charhound have been reduced by 20%. The big Fahar and two dogs, they are smaller now. Melee can see them currently, unless they change this build. They're still about as big as I am, being a Tauren in-game. Still much larger than Dreadstalkers are and things. I don't know. It's sad, but hey, at least it's not a damage nerf, right? So there's that, you know. Getting into Destro stuff. So, a lot has changed here. Spoilers ahead. Every single talent in our tree is 1 talent point. Just like how Demonology was. We have 0 2-point talents in our tree. They're all 1 point. And they have reduced the tree from 56 talent points to, I believe, 47, I believe. But yeah, so... getting into it here, the first change here, which I think is flying under the radar a bit. The cooldown of Summon Infernal is now 2 minutes. Was 3 minutes. Huge change. 2-minute Infernal and 3-minute Infernal feel like different specs. Literally do. They didn't even trim the duration of Infernal. It's still half a minute long, being 2 minutes. Very good, cool to see, which means Grand Warlock's design is obviously gone. You can take Reign of Chaos with Infernal passively now, all the time. Well, not passively, but it's a talent you can take, right? Without worrying about that choice note. A lot of redesigns here, and new talents building upon them. Decimation has been redesigned. Your crit strikes have a chance to reset the cooldown of Soulfire and reduce the cast time of Soulfire by 80%, which is a lot. Now, there's... we'll look at this a little bit in combat. It's actually really strong, and Soulfire feels good to cast. Surprising when I guess unsurprising when it is, you know, basically instant cast, but there is that. Scalding Flames has been redesigned. Increases the damage of Immolate by 20%. And its duration by 3 seconds. They merged improved Immolate and Scalding Flames together. They gave it 3 seconds, not 4, whatever it is, or 6, like it is on retail, but it's a pretty powerful node. Immolate damage increase and duration increase. A lot of new talents here. Indiscriminate Flames. Backdraft increases the damage of your next Chaos Bolt by 5%, or increases the crit strike chance of your next Incinerate or Soulfire by 35%. Blistering Atrophy increases the damage of Shadowburn by 20%. Shadowburn always critically strikes a target that is at or below 30% health, which is cool. There is that. When Shadowburn, for this one here, Fiendish Cruelty, when Shadowburn fails to kill a target that is at or below 30%, its cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. This feels a bit lackluster, can probably be trimmed. We'll look at that in a minute here. We get to the tree. Demon Fire Mastery increases the damage of CDF by 30%, and its cast time, or it basically channels faster, 35% faster. It's actually pretty big. Improved Chaos Bolt increases the damage bolt by 10% and reduces its cast time by 0.5 seconds. It's an N-tier capstone. It's a fine ability. I mean, I don't... faster bolts are fine, but it probably should be baseline, honestly. It feels like it's sort of a wasted capstone, but we'll get to that either way. It's there. There's that. Avatar has been redesigned. So Avatar, basically the Overfiend, which is the red little Smolderon that spawned if you were playing Diabolus a few weeks ago whenever you cast Cataclysm, now spawns from our Ritual of Ruin, procs, all that. That is the new Avatar. It gives you shards every half second and casts Chaos Bolts, probably Chaos Bolts, I would assume plural, at its target, dealing Chaos damage. I want it to volley Chaos Bolts still. That'd be really cool, but either way, there's that. This is bugged and not working currently. It does not spawn when you consume a Ritual of Ruin, so keep that in mind when we're looking at it in combat. And yeah, but I mean, it's cool. No Infernal Stun, but visually it's pretty cool. And launching Chaos Bolts are pretty cool. There's also no reduction to Chaos Bolt damage here, so it might be worth playing in single target also, as well as AOE. We'll see where it goes, but it looks to be full Chaos Bolt value. New talents. So these 4 revolve around Dimensional Rift. They are not in game yet, but Dimension Ripper. Incinerate, not Immolate, Incinerate has a chance to create a Dimensional Rift or recharge Dimensional Rift if learned. So this works by, if you don't have Dimensional Rift itself talented, you can just straight up get a Rift proc either way whenever you cast on Incinerate. Not Immolate. This is similar to our tier bonus from S3 for Destruction, where Immolate would give you chances to refund a Rift or recharge it or whatever, right? This is Incinerate now. One thing here, Fire and Brimstone. It is indeed, we'll see it in the tree here in a minute, Fire and Brimstone is a 1-point talent node, but it has rank 2 value of what you have currently on retail now. And you typically want it, it looks like pathing in AoE. So if you can AoE Incinerates and things, it might make this a lot better if it works that way. We don't know, it's NYI, but we'll see. Flame Rift, it can spawn a Flame Rift, same as our old tier bonus. Lessons of Spacetime, a Legion Legendary. While you have a Rift open, all your damage increased by 5%. So this is sort of like, it is more of a, it rewards you more for like watching rifts, sort of like a maintenance buff in a sense, where you want to have rift open. You want to have rifts open as much as possible, but also like emphasize having them open during like damage windows, like during your Infernal, when you're dumping Chaos Bolts, when you get, you know, damage-based procs, whatever we have you, during Malevolence, for example, right? It's a bit of like maintenance buff-esque times there and all that. We'll see where it goes, but there is that. It was Legendary and Legion. The final one here, Unstable Rifts. Bolts from Dimensional Rift deal 25% of the damage dealt to nearby enemies. This is like our cleave thing from our bonus S3, right? So we have 4 talents here working around Dimensional Rift. Backlash has been moved. Things have been moved around a bit. Pandemonium, Cry Havoc, Improved Immolate, Decimating Bolt, Grand Warlock's Design all gone. These are all rank 1 abilities. Like I said, every single talent is rank 1 now for Warlock, for Destro. Every single one. They mentioned here in the like developer post briefly, they moved Infernal to the middle of the tree, which is there, spoilers ahead, to provide an interesting and powerful spell to look forward to while leveling. Now, this is a weird explanation to me. I would have said like, I wouldn't have referenced leveling. I mean, it's fine, I'll take it. I think it's just like funny, but sure, I'll take it. If this is the reason why it went to the middle of the tree, I'm fine with that. Sure, let's go. I like having it in military. Feels good, cool to see, all that. It is incredibly iconic. They're very right, and it's cool to have in Milieu Tree. So solid, good to see. This basically says, yo, we're working on tree structure still. If there's too many points, this and that, let us know. And this is talking about Soulfire, CDF, and Shadowburn. They're building upon it with different talents here. You'll see in the tree in a minute when we get into it. They're trying to add value to those spells, which they've done in this build. So, getting into all of that, here we are currently at Alpha. I'm going to hop to a different monitor here as well. This is the new structure of the Warlock talent tree for Destro. This is an AoE cook that I have here. I'm working on it a little bit here and there. So, I'm going to reset it, and we're going to look at, let me make a new build here, new loadout, call it whatever, I don't care. We're going to reset it here so we can go through and look at abilities individually and talk about their placement and everything like that. So, top talent here, conflict rate, obviously there's that. So I'm looking to construct a pure single target build of destruction, right? I would go conflict rate, backdraft, roaring blaze, indiscriminate flames is here, chaos bolt or crit strike, incinerate increase to soulfire incinerate. I grab EP, but the interesting part here is that sort of how Demo is, you have to take either Havoc or Rain of Fire here to access other parts of your tree. Now, I also want to mention, I went back to record this again, I forgot to hit on it. I know that Inferno and Kata are still like in a weird spot where they share a node. I want to hit on it in feedback. We hit on it a bunch already. I don't know why they're sharing a node. Quality of life is through the roof if you have it be like Cataclysm here into Rain of Fire into Inferno. You can do Rain of Fire into Inferno into Kata. I don't really care either way. Pyrogenics just feels awkward. It's just a weird ability. Having Kata baseline quality of life through the roof. I know Shard Gen might be a bit of a concern with like Cataclysm and Inferno being a thing, but I think it's worth tuning around, man. It'd be huge quality of life instead of having to go in and put up like a handful of Immolates or Withers. It'd be great. Would love to see it in a future iteration if it happens. And yeah, Rain of Fire, you can get Backlash here. If you take Havoc, you can't get Backlash, but you go into Rolling Havoc. You just take Rain of Fire. In the end, yes, I know every spec having like an AoE ability pure baseline would be better, would be solid overall, but I don't think this really hurts pathing very much either way. It is what it is. I'm just telling you how it is. That's that, right? So if I'm building a build in single target, you get Rain of Fire here. It's 2 shards because of Inferno. I don't know why it's saying 2 and 3, but it's 3 baseline. So in single target, you have a Rain of Fire into Backlash, and you have Entropy and Combustion right here. Pathing into here opens up everything else. You can also path into Kata or Inferno through Backlash if you want. Then you have other options here. Fire and Brimstone, Flashpoint, Summoner's Embrace basically here versus Sack, Ember Storm, or Shadow Burn. Now, good single target options here. Good AoE, and good universal abilities. So I'm going to skip ahead a bit more, just show you some builds that I have here. This is like the single target build I was playing earlier. I'll change to this. Pathing for the most part is fine, except for the abilities that you build upon, like Shadow Burn, Rifts, and Channel Demon Fire. You have your Infernal, middle of the talent tree here, 2 minutes, cooldown, full 30-second duration. Keep in mind, it doesn't break into fragments. You're playing Diabolos here whenever it expires. They did hotfix or remove the Reign of Chaos, which is right here, interaction with its ability. Your smaller Reign of Chaos Infernals don't break into small shards anymore. It was just too strong. It is what it is. But so Infernals here, you can literally grab Infernal and go into Infernal Brand to buff your Infernals. Reign of Chaos is here, which you can take also, and Crescent Chaos is here. So you get full Infernal empowerments in the middle of your tree. Feels great. Plus 2-minute Infernal baseline. I love this. It feels really good. Your Infernal finally does feel strong again. It's 2 minutes. Good profile. Infernal Brand, Crescent Chaos, Reign of Chaos, all of that. I was playing Reign of Chaos earlier in single target too. Just changed up a bit, tried out other abilities. Over here, you have Scalding Flames, Immolate, Duration and Damage Increase, Eradication here, Ashen Remains right here. I'll hit on this more in the feedback part of later on this week, but Flashpoint being here is awkward, and also it being a rank 1 trait and only getting its rank 1 value from retail is awkward too. At max stacks, it's only 6% haste above 80% health, and that's a bit probably a bit too less, not enough. At the same time, I think putting it up here or Backlash is that would likely be a little more may make a little more sense when it comes to early on AoE multi-target scenarios, or realistically just put it somewhere else where you can just it's just odd pathing. I feel like going through here in a single target, but you have to access Ashen Remains if you want, which is good in single target, right? Having it be here per se, Backlash into Ashen makes more sense, but in the end you're still pathing the Flashpoint and sort of a wash. But there's that. Conflagration Chaos is here. So getting into the CDF Shadow Burn parts of the tree. Shadow Burn's over here. Has the same restores shard clause when things die, all that. Below it is Blistering Atrophy. Increases its damage. The crit strike chance of Shadow Burn is increased by 50% when damaging a target below 30% health, right? So that builds upon Shadow Burn. To a similar extent, this sort of builds upon it as well if you're Shadow Burning. Typically it works with Conflict Rate as well, which is fine. Play this regardless. But you have Shadow Burn, a node that builds upon Shadow Burn, another node that's the same thing, building upon Shadow Burn, and you have this as well, being Fiendish Cruelty, that also builds upon Shadow Burn. So you have 3 nodes, or 4 total, based around Shadow Burn, including the ability itself, right? This says when you hit a target below 30%, if it doesn't die, it reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds, which is honestly sort of unimpactful, probably not worth the talent point commitment regardless. Likely to just merge these 2 abilities together, Blistering Atrophy and this, to consolidate and make the tree a bit less bloated in certain areas. So you'd have basically Shadow Burn, Blistering Atrophy, and this combined, and then you have Conflagration over here. That would also bump this row up a little bit, so you'd have 5 capstones. Basically this row would end right here, and you have 5 capstones instead of 6, which is a bit bloated in the tree here as well. But it feels like Shadow Burn has a bit too many abilities modifying it. I want to grab them all, but I really sort of can't. And it's just I want other abilities other places, right? But Shadow Burn, CDF being number 2, also has multiple abilities building upon it, being Raging Demon Fire, which is the rank 1 version of it from retail. You don't get as many bolts or as long of a duration extension, so it's harder to maintain Immolates permanently in AoE via Cataclysm or whatever. And you also have Demon Fire Mastery, which increases the damage of CDF and reduces its cast time and all that. To a similar extent, also another candidate for possibly just merging these together, making it one ability. I think it's fine probably to do that. Probably wouldn't be that strong, but I feel like Shadow Burn is a bit bloated with 4 abilities total affecting it. CDF is 3, and right below that, the Omega bloat comes in with Dimensional Rift. Dimensional Rift has 5 abilities total, 4 that buff it. So you have Rift, You have Unstable Rifts, which is Bolt's Cleave. You have Dimension Ripper, which gives you a chance to reset it, whether you have the ability learned or not, which is cool, actually. You don't need to take this to have this ability proc if you're not playing it. You have Flame Rift being here. It's a capstone. You have Space Time also being a capstone here. So you've got 4 abilities to build upon Rift, 5 total if you include Rift itself. I think between CDF, Shadowburn, and Rift, this leads to a decent bit of bloat when it comes to like just general talents, right? When it comes to like having, like when I get to the bottom of my tree here and I have 10 points available, right? If I want to invest in dimensional rifts, right? For example, like an M+, where they're probably going to be pretty valuable with the cleave elements and flame rift and all that, or if they're good in single target, I have to spend half of my capstones in dimensional rifts. Then I can't. I have 5 points to spend in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 abilities. 14 abilities, right? Which is very awkward. Now, I feel like you couldn't really merge Flame Rift and Space Time together, but you could probably merge like Unstable Rifts, just like the Bolt Cleave part. You can just put it in Rift itself. I think it's fine. Just have them cleave. It's not the end of the world. You can even merge these two together, right? Just do that. You can make this passive. Maybe just put this here. And I don't know. I feel like finding a way to make Dimensional Rifts have like just, you know, Rift and then like build upon talent would shore this up a good bit. Would shore up the tree and make it easier to find other places to put talents. You could also just like, you know, combine this into RDF, like Unifier Mastery into RDF, which would bump this row up a bit. So basically this row would end like this would be right here, and everything else would be up a spot. Same over here. You just like, you know, remove this and bump this up a little bit here too. But like having 6 capstones, only having the ability to access 3 capstones as Destro. Like if I don't even go into this, if I can go like this, for example, I can only get 3 capstones total. And I can put a point here somewhere else. I can't get this, or this. Which, to be fair, you know, you have a lot of options and all that. Some are AOE, some are single target based, but it does feel a little awkward not having the option to, you know, grab what you want if you're building a full Dimensional Rift tree taking 5 talent points, right? So I think like we'll hit on it more this week in feedback and stuff. I feel like the biggest thing is maybe looking at CDF, Shadowburn, and definitely Rift to condense down certain talents and abilities. I like Space Time. I think it's cool, but honestly, like maybe you just make Flame Rift a passive thing from Dimensional Rift. You can just proc one. You don't need to be a capstone. Maybe you can just put this into here and have this be like an ability itself. Maybe probably be fine with this actually. So the ones you proc can just cleave too. Merge these together. Maybe make Flame Rift just part of like the 4 rifts you can spawn here, and leave Lessons as a capstone. You can just delete Lessons too if you want it for one less capstone. Just remove it, but I like Lessons. But either way, that's like where I think like the majority of the pathing issues. Some nodes are a little small when it comes to like what they do, like Flashpoint and Rolling Havoc. But you know, we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, so when it comes to like single target builds, if you're looking at not playing Rift here, I had a build like this built earlier, which looks pretty strong. Looking at what you can get here if you exclude rifts, right? I mean, you're getting full on Infernal, right? Like you're getting your Infernal, you're getting Infernal Brand, you're getting Crash and Chaos, you're getting Reign of Chaos, you're getting Ritual of Ruin, you're getting Master, you're getting Avatar, which is your Overlord that spawns and launches Chaos Bolts. You're getting Reduced Cast Time on Chaos Bolt, you're getting Embers, you're getting Burn to Ashes, you're getting Chaos Incarnate, you're getting Devastation and Ruin over here, which is a crit strike chance increase and crit strike damage increase, which also if you merge together as well. And you're also getting CDF and RDF. You might want to grab the Empire Mastery at some point. There's a million builds you can play. I was playing a build that looked more like this, which actually has Soulfire, Decimation, full-on CDF build, because the actual bolts you spawn from CDF and Raging do indeed count towards Soulfire's crit strike chance reduction, which this felt pretty good when it came to single target. So I want to look at this a little bit in combat, show you how it is, and yeah, we can go from there. So let's do this. I'm going to play Diabolus here. Hellcaller is good. Probably better than Diabolus for Destro with Malevolence, but the problem is Soulfire still applies Immolate, not Wither. Wither replaces Immolate, but you have Wither and Immolate active when you're playing Hellcaller, so it's like, I'm not going to do that now. We'll look at this in combat and single target, though, and go from there. And one thing I want to hit on here, watch how fast Destruction flows with all the cast time reductions via Unifier Mastery, via Decimation, via Emberstorm, via Improved Chaos Bolt, right? It flows and casts really smoothly, really quickly, right? Soulfire is here, so watch Soulfire's cooldown whenever it procs and stuff. CDF is well, right there. CDF for the most part usually guarantees a reset of Soulfire, all the little bolts it fires over and stuff too. I'm only going to cast Soulfire as like a hard cast in my opener to put up Immolate, and besides that, honestly, man, I never really ever refresh Immolate. I just cast Soulfire whenever it pops, and you'll see with the cast time reduction and all that, it actually isn't that bad. Let me clear this out. Let's get in combat and go. I'm going to precast my actual Soulfire. I'm going to Conflagrate. There's the Immolate. I'm going to put my Infernal down. I'm going to cast a Bolt. Maybe a couple bolts here. Dump some shards. I'm going to cast CDF. Soulfire reset. We got it. We're going to cast Soulfire again. Super fast cast time on the Soulfire. Going to dump bolts here. And just pray for Soulfire resets. Watch my Chaos Bolts. Going to dump this here. The shards from Infernal are crazy. There's my Overlord jumping in. Going to dump this. We have CDF in basically now. I'm going to Conflagrate again. I'm going to cast CDF. Look for a reset on Soulfire. We got it. Cast Soulfire really fast. Incinerate. Chaos Bolt. Conflagrate. Reset on Soulfire. Cast it again. Got it. Chaos Bolt. Chaos Bolt, there's Mother of Chaos. Infernal Bolt, 3 shards. Chaos Bolt and capping on shards. Chaos Bolt again, capping on shards. Conflagrate. Chaos Bolt. Chaos Bolt, look for a reset on CDF. We did not get, I lied, we got it. Launch the Soulfire, there we go. You never refresh Immolate. Like, it's just there, right? And like, it's not like, oh, it's busted, it's OP, it's too good, nerf it. It flows really well. You cast really fast. I have a lot of haste on PTR now too. I'm at 36, or on alpha, I'm at 36 passively, so like it's more than what I have when I hit max level initially, right? Look, honestly, man, all the cast time reductions and things, it flows pretty well. And if you're worried about Soulfire, it's basically an instant cast that you hit. Look at it this way. Soulfire is a way to apply Immolate with a faster cast time than Immolate that also does damage and can reset over and over by creating with other abilities. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's take a look at it briefly as well in AOE. Oh, it's also worth mentioning, like I said, that the Overlord should be spawning there too in single target. He's just bugged, not spawning. Same thing this build here. He should be spawning. He's not going to spawn here though, because he's bugged. So I swapped to an AOE build here. I'm not playing Rifts because they are all not yet implemented, but when they are, we'll look at them. I'm playing Fire and Brimstone. I'm playing Inferno. I know that Cat has also. I know that Kata has not been separated from Inferno. I get that. I'm going to give feedback on it. We'll see where it goes, but that is that. Inferno feels good to play with, right? Besides that, we're playing Reign of Chaos, Inferno being 2 minutes, Inferno Brand, Crushing Chaos, and everything else. So let's take a look at it in AoE briefly. I am playing Hellcaller here, and you'll see, like, when I add my Infernal down, yeah, the Shard Gen is wild. Even outside of that, without Infernal, the Shard Gen is still pretty solid, and like having your Rain of Fires cost 2 shards is pretty cool. Play our Withers here, put our Infernal down, pop my Malevolence here, put up a Havoc, start Conflagrating, and begin casting Rain of Fires. Look at the Shard Gen here from my Infernals with Rain of Chaos, spawning more Infernals. It feels like how it does on retail now currently. Let me Rain of Fire on this Evoker a little bit here. These disgusting lizards deserve it. That's okay. You know, no problem there. He's a little excited. He ran on my reins. And yeah, but like, so Malevolence is falling here. Infernal's expiring in 6 seconds. And outside of that, like, our Shard Gen does drop off a little bit. We also have Fire and Brimstone here by Burn to Ashes to help carry a little bit. I can reapply my Havoc. Wither. They fell. It is what it is. The 2 shard, like, claws cast, cost on Rain of Fire via Inferno is going to be really good. It makes it feel similar to retail, but not as insane on the high end with mass AoE. It'll make casting between packs easier and easier. I have no actual, like, you know, CDs here. I'm just putting up Withers again. They keep falling. I'm not paying attention. And honestly, look at my Shard Gen. Like, I'm casting things pretty easily. Like, Rain of Fire, proc again. Should have an Overlord spawning there, but he's bugged, right? I have Malevolence again. Let's pop it, actually. Malevolence. Catch some of these Withers where they fall. And I have a million shards coming in again because I have more haste. Rain of Fire, Conflagrate, Rain of Fire. If I run out of shards, which rarely ever happens, I can throw in Incinerate, which has Fire and Brimstone in it. The AoE feels good, man. I think the spec feels pretty good overall. Your casts are fast, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Cataclysm and Inferno not being separate, I'd love to see it, but I'm still pretty happy. If they fix some of, like, the Dimensional Rifts, Shadow Burn, what are things called? There's too many burns. Yeah, Shadow Burn and CDF pathing. be pretty solid. So thanks for watching, guys. Like always, I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys like the Destro changes overall, and you know, yeah, we will see where it goes. I'm gonna hit on the Kata Inferno thing once again in feedback. I know you've hit on it a lot, but I really want to drive that point home and see if we can get it to happen. And yeah, like the pathing is, I wouldn't even say pathing, just like the raw number of talent choices based around abilities like Shadow Burn, Dimensional Rift, Channel Demon Fire, a couple other things here and there is a little awkward. Hopefully they condense them down or move some, but overall, honestly, man, like having Infernal Central baseline 2 minutes, how well the spec flows with the cast time reductions on Incinerate, Chaos Bolt, Soulfire actually feeling pretty solid, as well as CDF. It flows well. It's really fast, and I like how it feels. So I don't know, we'll see where it goes, and yeah, well, let's go from there. Like always, Week Wars add-ons, if you want them, links to Twitch and Discord down below, all for free for you guys. I also stream 5 to 6 days a week if you want to come by and watch that. This weekend is a charity event. Myself, THG, and Sang are at a charity event this weekend if you want to come by and watch that on Saturday. At the same time, before we end the video, like always, a huge shout out to my patrons for all supporting on Patreon. Thank you guys a million times. I really appreciate it. If you've got supporting on Patreon, should be a link up here, as well as down below in the video description. Now, when Demonology got its overhaul, it was essentially like the second overhaul it had gotten after, like, you know, the first one changed some things here and there. Destro did get the Decimating Bolt change 2 weeks ago. That's gone, obviously. It has been replaced with the Overfiend, which is bugged now, but I feel like this is Destro's first actual initial pass at overhaul. And I mean, if they want to iterate upon it, it will likely isn't that hard to do by combining talent nodes, like I said, with Rift and Shadowburn and all that. And I think we have a really, really good template here for what is a good Destro build, spec tree and all that. And even if they don't change much, honestly, it played really well in combat. New Inferno feels good. In single target, it flows well. And Soulburn, Soulfire, actually feels good to hit when it's a half-second cast. Surprisingly. So there's all that. But thanks for watching, guys. All that being said, and I will catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.